Welcome to a very special Who's at the Chef's Table with Chef Dan. This week, your host, Doris with a D, sits down with personal chef, author, and founder of the Holy Street to Light, Alessandro Coppa.
Hey everyone, I'm Doris with a D. I'm with SoFloDining magazine. And today I have the absolute pleasure of introducing to you my friends. A friend of mine, a new friend of mine, who I recently met in the business, of course. And his name is Alessandro. He's a chef. He's a chef who is all about food being medicine. Okay? What a concept. We can actually heal by what we eat. So I thought that it was important for me to bring him to everyone who knows SoFloDining magazine because it's all about the good food, it's all about the love, it's all about the mom and pops. And this gentleman incorporates all of that. And I want you to know where he comes from, when he got started, why he does what he does. I want him to tell us about his family and how they influenced everything. I want to know everything, and I want you guys to know everything. Because the truth of the matter is, this is so important. You know, in my years on the planet, I learned a lot about food. And one of the things I learned was that not all food is good for you. And not all things that you like are good to you. So here we go. I want you to take it away. I want you to tell them everything that we talked about.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me today here with you, bringing my presence here in camera and explaining exactly what I am about to do and also from where is my background coming from.
Right.
Well, I'm originally from Italy. I've been born and raised in Marche, which is a little region of Italy in between sea, mountains, and hill. It's where the highest production of grains, wine, olive oil, and much more they're being cultivated into the ground. And basically, I've been all my entire life around nature until the age of 20 years old when I started traveling around the world.
So when you were a little boy, how, how did that come from you? How, how did how did the world treat you that you felt that food was your call?
Well, let's say when I was very child, 5, 6, 7 years old, I had my grandmothers.
Oh,
Uh, yes, the non, and basically, one of them, they were living in a farm
mhm.
where my family owned a lot of ground for uh, doing farm cultivation of grains. So I was always being in the farm around them, and actually they raised me from the child learning how to make a tomato,
So you plant and all
how
that?
to plant,
Yeah.
and from plant taking every day and transforming to plant because when it was summer there was a plantation of tomatoes.
Okay.
And what my grandmother was doing, taking all the tomatoes in the cage, going into her space and kitchen, start washing all of them, boiling, peeling, and then passing and making what today is selling like a fresh tomato. So
So you were a little boy. You knew when it was time to take the plant after you had already put it in the ground.
the smell of the tomato, the smell of cucumber, when some cultivation was early. Of course, my brother and sisters, they were maybe more expert than me because they were before me, but for the little time and the experience that I had with my grandmother, because from the child, I spent a lot of time also living with her into the farm. So she kind of educate me on the level of nature and understanding natural product, how to use it. Because I can transmit and explain to people. My grandmother was making this tomato soup, the tomato sauce for pasta, for any kind of preparation. And after making, cooking and putting everything into the bowl, she was going to sterilize the product, and for 5, 6 months, 1 year, you didn't have to put any preservative inside. You didn't have to put any sugar inside. It was completely 100% like a raw, and the taste it was same as taking out from the ground. And this is what after like engaging into chef culinary chef school in Italy and start traveling around restaurant, you could never find back the taste of real product from what actually we are eating today.
Yeah, no, I mean, just getting from you that you knew how to fertilize the ground. You knew when the ground was ready for the seeds. You knew when the seeds were going to start to grow.
Yeah.
You knew from the smell, from the taste, from everything around you, from nature. You were taught that. That's amazing. That's like my right now. My mind is just going
It's
because yeah, because in America we don't have that. We have these big old machines putting things in the ground and all this mechanical things where you're doing it from the senses, from your being, from what you're getting from nature, from what you're getting from the sun.
Yeah, I was also lucky to born and be raised in this little like village called Serra de Ponte, where until now in today's day there's many realities there that they are basically working towards a natural product. And where I born and raised, for example, they have an huge event every year, and is about a legume, the cicerchia. The cicerchia is one of the rarest legume on the industry, where it was almost into extinction,
Really?
being no more like into the market and no more in the ground. So they found that the plant, they started to recultivate it, and for 13 years we are basically celebrating the legume as a party, like a village and a city around coming to go into each little restaurant being made by the local people, and eating like this product from the ground, with also, of course, the tradition of cooking.
So the community is giving their energy to be able to provide.
Yeah, so the community of where I'm coming from Second we
Uh-huh.
yes, we are a lot of people are like really connected to nature, because a lot of them owning actually like ground, cultivating wine, vineyard, ground with grains. I have a very close friend into my family like community, where is one of the producer of another kind of corn, which is called autophyllite. And this quality was another one, Edison, that was almost to be like violent.
Yeah.
And then he got the plant. He started to make the cultivation. Now his production goes from the flour for making polenta, from galette, from doing a different product with that natural. And believe me, if you're gonna hit one of their galette, you're gonna taste the smell and the crunch of the ground. Like you feel the purity of that kind of grain. And now I mentioned one, but there's plenty around the area which they are doing beautiful work every single day, cultivating the ground with love. And there's a lot of knowledge about the real healing food. And in a one certain way, like not many people are understanding what is meaning healing. But this concept of heating out of the ground is the most purest way for you to treat well your body. And I think this is also one of the reasons why Italy is one of the blue flag around the world with the highest longevity reported into any like books, and we are behind Japan. But in a certain way, we are one of the purest ground where honestly, I feel like very happy to be Italian with the background of culture, with wine, food. Then for another aspect, I may have a different view, but from when I came to this world, I was being raised until the moment I didn't left. I couldn't really see and appreciate what I had on my hands.
Mhm. Yeah, you probably couldn't even know how much knowledge you have acquired. This is sacred knowledge. Like, it's been passed on from generation to generation.
Mhm.
And that's what helps with the healing. So you have a benefit that very few people out there know about.
Well, I still think I will need one day to go back and to start expanding my knowledge because, of course, during the years I was not 100% focused on only on ground or whatever. Because in my childhood, I was always very active. I wanted to acting. I wanted to dance. I wanted to like. Play soccer, so same as all the other kids. So basically, I had a million things around. But as far as I'm evolving as a person, as a human being, I start to really reappreciate the nature around my house. So then, the question, if I will go back living there, I don't know yet. For the reason after traveling around over 10 countries, I feel I love traveling, and probably with the expansion of the knowledge and wisdom, I'm seeking to keep growing. But I'm not saying no to the possibilities to actually go back there and try to make something with that field and with all the friends and family around. Because in the end of the story, like there's the ground, the root there.
Yes.
Everything.
It's where everything started. Yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And you need to pass on that knowledge.
I will try slowly, slowly. It's not easy because today the most major barrier we have with people when you tell, do you know when you eat food that you can start healing yourself? They look at you and say, what kind of drugs are you taking? So they are like they are not anymore used to understand the philosophy. Of course, not everyone also had the pleasure and the luckiness of being born into a place where you had 70-80% nature. Because of course, who is being born into city, they have no concept of what a real smell in the morning at the 6, 7 a.m. come to your nose. In the summer, winter, or having the rooster making like in the morning that
Yeah.
waking you up,
Yeah.
or other kind of pleasure. So when you tell people, you can heal, they say, how? Because in today's day, we are eating so fast and so bad that we lost the concept of what the real food is and what quality is difference of quantity.
Mhm.
We live out of an industry instead of to knowing what actually is more healthier.
Sure.
And I remember my father always was making a joke when my mother she was buying, for example, a chicken from a supermarket.
Oh, okay.
And we've been raised like an entire life of eating a raw like poultry from our farm, and you can feel the difference when you cook them. Because if you take something from the industry, as it is going to be cooked, you touch the bone, and you are able to take out the bone without like any force, any knife, anything. But try to do it with something being raised in the real world. The meat is gonna be so juicy, and you need to grab as if you're moving the pieces of meat and really heat it there, because the meat you won't take it out from the bone unless you're going to use knife, and unless you do different technique. But the ones are pure generated from farm are a different quality.
Well, you have to catch the hen first. You have to run after the chicken and catch it, no?
Well,
And
like
that's all the
this part I never been like I can share. I saw how like my grandmother, they were kind of killing, and let's say with the respect for any person in the world, they have different beliefs and concepts for nature and animals. It's not a very good experience, honestly. But at the same time, when you eat that kind of food, your living being is completely different.
Doris with a D and SoFloDining would like to thank you for watching this wonderful interview. We would also like to thank Chef Alessandro Coppa for sitting down with us and sharing. Join us at SoFloDining.com